You want to hook your kid on gaming, but they keep running into walls or can't figure out the camera? Start here. This is the ultimate low-stress playground, where failing is basically impossible and everything is hilarious. You get to play through all 9 movies, but with that slapstick Lego humor that hits hard for both you and your little one. The best thing about this game for parents is the freedom. You are not stuck in boring linear levels. You can fly to different planets, unlock hundreds of characters, and just smash everything to collect studs. If your kid loves The Mandalorian or wants to play as Darth Vader, they can. And the co-op is seamless. The screen splits when you walk away from each other and merges when you get close. It is smart design. Combat is flashy but forgiving. You can mash one button and still look like a Jedi Master. If your kid falls off a cliff or gets blasted by a stormtrooper, they just explode into bricks and respawn instantly. No game over screens to make them cry. It is pure chaotic fun, where you guide them through the puzzles while they run around swinging a lightsaber at random droids. But if you are looking for something that trades lightsabers for ninja weapons and feels like those arcade cabinets you grew up with, beat 'em ups are the absolute best genre for teaching kids the basics of action gaming, and this one is the king of the modern era. It is colorful, it is fast, and it lets you mash buttons until bad guys fall down. You can have up to 6 players on screen, which means the whole family can jump in and create absolute pixelated chaos. What makes this perfect for kids is the cheer mechanic. If your kid runs out of health and gets knocked out, you have a few seconds to run over and high-five them to bring them back into the fight. It teaches them that you are a team, you are looking out for each other. Plus, doing the super attacks is as simple as pressing one button once your meter is full. The animations are straight out of the 80s cartoon, so it hits your nostalgia while being bright and flashy enough to keep a modern kid's attention. The levels are short, usually about 5 to 10 minutes, so it is perfect for short attention spans. You beat a boss, you high-five, you move on. Fighting foot soldiers is great for teamwork, but what if you want to introduce a little friendly competition with rocket-powered cars? This concept is so simple, a 5-year-old understands it in 3 seconds. It is soccer, but with cars. That is it. There are no complex inventories to manage, no story to follow, and no text to read. You drive car, you hit ball, you score goal. For playing with kids, you want to set up a custom match against bots. Put yourself and your kid on the same team against some easy AI rookies. The first time your kid manages to boost into the ball and accidentally knock it into the goal, the excitement in the room is unmatched. It is pure dopamine. The controls can be tricky to master, but just driving around is fun on its own. The cars can jump, flip, and drive on the ceiling. Kids love the rumble mode, where you get random power-ups like a giant boot to kick the ball or a grappling hook. It adds a layer of randomness that evens the playing field. Plus, the split screen works perfectly, so you are sitting side by side on the couch screaming when the ball gets too close to your net. Cars are fast and loud, but trying to coordinate moving a giant L-shaped couch down a narrow hallway, that is where the real panic sets in. Most games make chores feel like work, but this game turns moving furniture into a physics-based comedy show. You work together as FARTs, Furniture Arrangement and Relocation Technicians. Yes, the acronym is FART. Your kid is going to laugh at that for 20 minutes straight. The gameplay is all about physics. You grab one end of a sofa, your kid grabs the other, and you have to navigate through haunted mansions, Candylands, or futuristic cities. You will be shouting, "Pivot and pull," as you accidentally smash windows and break vases. The game actually encourages you to break things. It is messy and liberating. The assist mode is the real hero here. You can toggle options that make items lighter, give you more time, or even make it so you can't fail a level. It lets you tailor the difficulty exactly to your kid's skill level, so they never feel frustrated. You can even slap each other in the game, which usually turns into a 5-minute slap fight instead of moving boxes. You survived moving day, but can you survive a magical forest where you have to jump to the beat of the music? This is visually one of the most stunning 2D platformers ever made. It looks like a hand-drawn painting coming to life. But the reason it is on this list is because of how forgiving the co-op is. Up to 4 players can run through these levels, and the flow is incredible. Here is the key feature. If your kid misses a jump or touches a spike, they don't restart the level. They turn into a bubble and float around. You just have to jump and pop the bubble, and they are back in the game. You can literally carry them through the hard parts while they float safely in a bubble. It removes all the pressure. The highlight for everyone is the musical levels. You run, jump, and punch enemies in perfect sync with songs like Black Betty or Eye of the Tiger. It feels like a rhythm game mixed with a cartoon. There is also a mini game called Kung Foot, which is basically 2D soccer. I know families who have spent more time playing that mini game than the actual story mode. Rayman is 2D perfection, but if you want to run around in a 3D playground where everyone can turn into a cat, Nintendo has the answer. This is the best multiplayer Mario game, period. Unlike the new Super Mario Bros. Series where you constantly bump into each other and throw your teammates into lava by accident, 3D World gives you space to breathe. You have a 3D environment to run around in, but the levels are linear with a clear start and finish, so kids don't get lost like they might in Mario Odyssey. The cat suit is the game changer. It lets you climb up walls, which makes platforming so much easier for younger players. If they miss a jump, they can usually just claw their way back up. Plus, it is adorable. Who doesn't want to see Toad wearing a cat costume? At the end of every level, scores are tallied, and the winner gets a crown. In the next level, the character wears that crown physically. It introduces a tiny bit of rivalry. Your kid will fight tooth and nail to keep that crown on their head. And if you get the Switch version, it comes with Bowser's Fury, which is like a mini open-world adventure you can tackle together as Mario and Bowser Jr. Mario provides top-tier platforming, but what if you want a game that feels like a literal storybook made of fabric and yarn? This game is so cute, it almost hurts. You play as a little doll made of knitted wool, running through a world made of cardboard, fabric, and craft supplies. The textural feel of the game is amazing. You can feel the textures through the screen. It is designed entirely around co-op. There are specific teamwork levels that you literally cannot beat alone. You have to throw your partner across gaps or stand on a button to hold a door open for them. It forces your kid to communicate and work with you. The mechanics are simple: jump, grab, roll. But the real fun is the mischief. You can slap your kid's character or grab them and throw them off the edge. It sounds mean, but it is always funny because the checkpoints are generous. You have infinite lives, but you lose points if you die too much. It strikes that perfect balance where you want to do well, but it is not the end of the world if you mess up. Sackboy is cozy and safe, but sometimes you just want to introduce chaos and ruin your child's trust with a well-timed blue shell. This is the great equalizer. It is the only game where a 4-year-old can legitimately beat a 30-year-old veteran, and that is why it is essential. It is colorful, the music jams, and the roster has everyone from Princess Peach to Link. The reason this is top tier for kids is the accessibility options. You can turn on smart steering and auto-accelerate. With these on, the cart literally drives itself. It won't let them drive off the track or fall into pits. Your kid just has to steer a little bit and through items. They feel like they are racing like a pro, even if the game is doing 90% of the work. Then you have the items, the bullet bill that rockets them to the front, the star that makes them invincible. It gives them moments of power. And for you, you have to dodge the chaos. It is endlessly replayable. Battle mode is also fantastic if they just want to drive around and pop balloons instead of racing. Racing is about speed and adrenaline, but if you want to slow everything down and build an entire world block by block, you cannot talk about gaming with kids without the king of the sandbox. Minecraft is not just a game, it is a creative tool. It has 2 modes that fit 2 different vibes. If you want peace, you play creative mode. You have infinite blocks, you can fly, and you can build a massive castle or a roller coaster together without worrying about dying. If you want an adventure, you play survival mode. This is where the bonding happens. You spawn in a new world with nothing. You have to punch trees, build a shelter before the sun goes down, and protect each other from zombies and skeletons. "Dad, help, a creeper's outside," creates a genuine sense of shared danger. You can teach them about resource management, crafting, and navigation. You can explore deep caves, find diamonds, or build a farm. The game grows with them. When they are young, they build dirt huts. When they get older, they build complex redstone machines. It is infinite value. Building is peaceful, but our #1 pick transforms the entire concept of co-op into a masterpiece that requires you to act as one mind.
This is widely considered the best co-op game ever made, and for good reason. You cannot play this alone. The screen is always split, and you and your kid are always working together. You play as two tiny dolls in a massive house, and every single level introduces a completely new mechanic. In one level, one of you has a hammer and the other has nails, and you have to build paths for each other. In another, you are piloting a plane while the other shoots a turret. Then you are riding frogs. Then you are fighting a space baboon. The variety keeps a kid's attention locked in because they never know what is coming next. The puzzles are brilliant because they require constant communication. You have to say, okay, on 3, you pull the lever and I will jump. It forces them to articulate their plans and listen to yours. The story is a bit heavy. It deals with parents planning a divorce, but the gameplay is so magical and the world is so vibrant that the fun outweighs the themes. Just make sure you are emotionally prepared for the Cutie the Elephant scene, because I promise you, neither you nor your child will ever forgive the developers for that moment.